Hello to my party people out there in Radio Land. Welcome to this week's transmission. This week's topic is a continuation, basically, of last week with a twist. Stepping into yourself requires for you to know yourself. So last week, we were saying how stepping into your true self requires for you to step out of things that aren't you. But in order for you to do either of those, right, you gotta first know who you are, right? Before you can take action, you have to know where you're going and who you are. You kind of have to take stock of what you already have, right? Just like if you were buying something, you need to know what you got before you know what you need or what you don't need. So, if and when you know who you are, then you maneuver through life differently. You manifest differently. Your expectations are different. So, for example, when you know that you are a pioneer, when you know that you're an innovator, then you don't expect to encounter pre-laid paths, right? Your expectations, everything about how you move through life is different, right? You expect to have to pave your own path. You expect not to have any examples set for you, any role models, any idols, right? You don't expect to have mentors or people who see your vision or who even understand your craft. You don't expect for there to be a manual ready for you and waiting. You don't expect for it to be easy. You do expect difficulty, right? Because of your lack of precedence, right? So if ain't nobody ever done anything that you are trying to do or what you are trying to do, and you know this, you expect different things, right? So this goes for any field, anything that you want to accomplish in life. When you know what is there for you and what has been done and what resources are there, then you don't have to stress yourself out with what's not there, right? Or with looking for something that you already know is not there. So for example, if I wanted to create something like a different genre of music, then, well, if I wanted to, let's say, create more of the same, right? So let's say I want to get into the field of R&B. I already know that's a well-trodden path. I already know that there are greats that I can research and look into and aspire to be, right? That manual has already been written, and I'll just be another, voice in the noise of it all, which R&B obviously ain't noise. I just mean like the cacophony, that happens when a field is crowded. But if I want to venture out and create my own form of music, then I already know, right? Nobody's ever done this. So it's kind of like that. When you know that you're a leader, it means that you don't wait or you don't look to be led. But of course, you have to know these things first. That's why you have so many people who are stressed out or who are frustrated, right? Because they're confused about who they are and what they are. So maybe they have vision, right? They know where they're trying to go, right? They know what they're trying to step out of. But the missing link is they don't know themselves, right? So for example, let's say you are from a bad neighborhood or something like that. So, and you say, well, this is where I'm from, right? I want to step into something greater, which different topic for a different transmission, right? You should be actually building up yours instead of running from it. But we ain't gonna talk about that today. But let's say you want to break patterns. If you have a history of maybe karmic debt or karmic patterns that and cycles that are never broken in your family, things like that. So let's say everybody in your family, was a teen mom. You have a lot of teen pregnancy is a big, it's a continuing pattern in your family. And you say, okay, I want to step out of that method and that way of thinking, and I want to step into, a more a healthier way of rearing children, right? This is no judgment. But let's just say that's what you aim for, right? So you know where you want to step out of and what you want to step into. But you doing either of those first requires you to know who you are. Otherwise, you'll only confuse yourself, right? And you'll throw off your manifestations because you'll confuse the universe, because you will put out mixed messages, right? So if you know that you want to overcome teen pregnancy or something like that, you want to break that chain or break that cycle in your family, but yet you don't know that maybe let's see, if your great grandmother was the first, person to give birth as a teen in your family, you don't know her story, and maybe she was, sexually abused, or maybe she was married at the time, right? Because back in those days, being a teen mother wasn't a big deal, right? People had kids when they were younger, but they were married, right? Maybe she lived on a farm and she had 12 kids, and that's what they did. You see what I'm saying? So that changes how you operate now. It changes what you are stepping out of and what you are stepping into, right? Again, using that same example, if you are breaking this cycle and you know that, let's say your aunt was, she incurred some sexual abuse or something. So then you can see, okay, that's why she did the things that she did, or maybe she ran away from home, or dropped out of school or something, endured some type of trauma that led to those decisions, which which culminated in her becoming a teen mother, right? So all of that makes sense. You say, well, what does that have to do with my decision to move forward? Everything. It has everything to do with it, because then you understand the thinking that went into that decision making. You understand why those actions occurred, right? You cannot change anything if you don't understand the source of it. You don't understand the cause of it, the why the person did it, right? That's why in criminal justice, it's like they look for a motive. What reason did they have to do this? Why did this happen? What is the source of all of this, right? Human psychology 101, right? Because nothing just happens for no reason. And so knowing that, then you can say, instead of just saying, well, I just want to be different, right? And having you have less of a judgmental standpoint, and more of an empathetic disposition toward the people in your family who have perpetuated that cycle that you are trying to break, right? So then you see why it happened, what lifestyle led to that, and then you're able to make different decisions. Otherwise, right, you may just end up in that situation and not even realize it, right, one way or another, because that's how it goes, right? Those who don't know their history are doomed to repeat it. So that's on like a more somber note or example, but sometimes you got to take it there, right, for people to really understand it and for people to really be able to relate. So if you know that you are a leader, right, then that means that you are not looking for validation or looking for the approval or opinions of other people, right? You're a pioneer, you're an innovator, right? You're not looking for how other people made things, because your way will be different and unique, right? So you're not researching and Googling and, you're not doing all of that, because that has nothing to do with you, right? You're building from the ground up. So for example, let's use as a more positive example, like a recipe, right? So let's say you're a chef and you want to create a completely different recipe. So let's say you want to create something, period, as a chef, you got one or two options. Your first option is to start from other people's guidelines and customize it. So for example, let's say you want to make, potato salad. It's random, I know. So you say, well, I'm going to make potato salad. Okay. It's already been defined for you. The mold is already there. What people expect from potato salad, right, has already been established. Those basic ingredients are there that you got to use. Otherwise, right, it ain't potato salad. And then you can say, but I'm going to put a twist on it. I'm going to customize mine. You can do that, but it's still potato salad. You see? So you benefit from the fact that it's still potato salad. Maybe you can market it, because people who eat that already will say, oh, well, I'll try that. I know I like it because I like potato salad, but this one is a little different. It has a twist, right? So you can benefit that way, but then you also lose because you've already labeled it as potato salad, right? Or you can start from scratch. So let's say you're a chef and you want to come up with your own different type of food, right? Your own recipe. Then you would have to let go of all of the preconceived notions of what potato salad is, or what any food that you've already learned about or experienced is. Otherwise, it wouldn't be unique. It wouldn't be yours. Right? So you start from scratch, you add your own ingredients, knowing that you are intentionally creating something new, right? Because if you deviate too much from a recipe, then that makes it no longer that item anyway. So if I want to keep adding, if I want to make potato salad and add a few pickles, or I don't know, honey or something, brown sugar, then it's like, okay, you can nod your head a little bit, even if you like grimace, like, that sounds disgusting. But after a while, if I take it too far left field, eventually you're going to be like, that ain't potato salad. And you'll be right? After a while, it ain't. It's probably just a salad, or I don't know, something else, not potato salad, right? It's my creation. So that's how it goes when you are being an innovator or a pioneer, right? And you are knowing what you're doing from the start. Am I trying to create the same thing that's already here with my own twist, which is fine? Or am I going down a completely different path, right? Because your expectations are different. Ain't no recipe, right, when you're creating yours. But if I'm creating potato salad, there are probably thousands of recipes out there for me to do that. So that's all I have to say. Thank you for listening. Have a great week. Love, live, light, laughter. Bye.